What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is BroncoJuggalo, and we are back with another episode of One on One with BroncoJuggalo. And today, my special guest is the Don of Mobstyle music, the Underground Hunter, who's got some shit going on all over the place, the man himself, the leader of the Weirdo Army, your friend and mine, BUKSHOT.
What up? What up?
What is going on with you, brother? How things been for you?
Good. Just, I don't have enough time, man. I'm just busy.
I hear that, man. I really appreciate you making time for this interview. That's really awesome of you. I really do appreciate it.
I mean, no, for sure. I mean, you're a homie of mine, and we go back a long way. And you've been a very big supporter of Mob Style and what we do. And that's the least I could do is make time for you're helping share what I do in my platform with the underground, and that's how it all works. We all got to look out for each other.
Hey, man, yeah, the most definitely, and like I said, I really do appreciate it. It's this is an interview I've wanted to do since I started doing the interviews. I've been thinking about this forever now, and yeah, this is actually my first non-horror interview. Even though you do have some horror stuff going on that we're going to get into here in a little while.
All right.
So, guys, as you know, I'm going to be talking to Mr. BUKSHOT. He's going to be talking to me. We're going to be talking to y'all. I'm going to pay attention to the chat. I'm not going to interact with it too much until the end of the interview. At that point, if you have any questions you want to ask Buck, fire them out, and I will make sure that if he doesn't see them already, I'm not sure if he's got the chat up, but if not, I will get them to him, and he will answer them. All right? So...
would it be wise? Can I look at the chat here? Would it be wise if I brought it up? Hold on. You hit this chat button?
Yeah, on a phone, it's kind of a pain in the ass because
yeah, it is.
It covers across things. Laptops are real good or whatever, or if you have another phone or a tablet, you could pull it up on the actual channel,
Got an iPad.
Yeah, whatever,
Give me 1 second.
All right. No problem. By the way, everybody, Pepsi Mango, it actually works. This is the zero sugar variety for all you fat kids out there.
There we go.
Oh, sickness, bro. Hey, that's my favorite hoodie, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I get so many compliments on that thing.
Yeah, people love that, man.
Yep.
Let's see here.
Speaking of which, everybody, go and check out BUKSHOT's Mobstyle Music, www.mobstylemusic.com, and check out the Mob Shop. Get all of your BUKSHOT and Mobstyle merchandise. He's got, honestly, the sickest fucking merchandise in the underground. And that ain't no joke, man. I've been buying fucking ICPs. I bought Twisteds. I've bought fucking LSP. I bought everywhere, and I'm telling you right now, BUKSHOT is the sickest merch in the game. If you don't believe me, just look at the shit I wear. I mean, come on. And the links for that will be in the description box below.
I appreciate that. So do I just have to enter this through my iPad, basically?
No, just go to YouTube and pull up my channel and find the video. Should be right there.
All right, cool.
And it'll let you follow right along, Turn the sound on it off, though, or else we'll get a feedback.
I can still talk while I get this figured out, though. If there's anything you want to...
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Yeah, well, we'll get started then. I got real no order to these questions. I just put them down as I thought them up. So we may go from something serious to something stupid,
Dude, it's whatever, man.
Well, you know what? That'll bring me right into the first one. Something that I've known about you and I've noticed about you and all the years I've been following you, listening to your music. Like you said, we go back a long way. And when I first met you, or, met as in on Twitter or whatever, I didn't even realize you were at the time a rapper, and not only a rapper, but an internationally known rapper. Right. I had no clue. I just thought you were another juggalo like me that collected music. So with that being said, I've always noticed that you don't really have a problem with ego. which is something that I've noted that is basically a paramount in the rapper world. I mean, you know, everybody in the rap world pretty much has ego, and that's something I don't really think you have a problem with. I've noticed not just in your music, but talking to you and everything else. You have no problem making fun of yourself. You have no problem joking about yourself. You have no problem just having fun in general. You did it with the stickers, of you on the pterodactyl and all that shit, which was,
Right.
awesome. I love that. That was one of my favorite things ever.
That's awesome.
So, you know, why, how did that happen? I mean, what made you that kind of person? Because it doesn't fit the quote unquote rapper mold.
I mean, I probably get it from my dad. My dad was kind of the same way, just try not to take everything so serious. And I mean, when it's time to be serious, I mean, I can be serious, but I try to be as lax as I can, and try to have fun, try to make things fun. A lot of people don't see that side of it, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad some of you all do, because I don't even take myself serious a lot.
Well, I mean, you are in fact, I didn't even realize until I met you, up close and in person for the first time. You're a very large motherfucker. You're a dude, you're tall as hell. You're like 50 feet tall,
6 foot.
and, you do have a presence, and you're one of those people that's kind of like me, even though I got a little more fat on my bones here. You kind of got like that permascal thing going on, you
Right.
know, kind of like I do. So people, I think, don't expect it from you. But like I said, it is definitely there. And it's something that I really appreciate because it's just, it's refreshing. It's refreshing to see somebody, especially in your line of, music, that isn't just all about, talking about the fucking shit that they got, how big they are, how cool they are.
Right.
And it really is a cool, refreshing thing. And, I think it makes your music even better.
Well, I mean, that's a cool, unique way to look at it. But I mean, I try to be as real as I can with the supporters and the fans, and I try to make time to interact, whether it be tweeting or Facebook or Instagram. I used to be a lot more better with it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Back when I had more time, and like now everything's taken so much shape. It just the business side and the music side, it requires so much more time from to do this.
Yeah. Everybody in the chat, remember, I will be giving all your questions to Buckshot at the end of the interview. We'll go from there, but I'll get to that. All right, y'all? Don't worry. I will get to it for sure. So, over the years, your style in hip hop, it's kind of evolved. You started out very gangster rap kind of sounding, your earlier albums, you know, uh, One More for the Haters, Welcome to the Ville, all that stuff. And you kind of gradually, you always had those elements, but you kind of gradually went a little more into the wicked shit. And then now I think coming from like the last 6, 7, 8 years, you've really just found this perfect style that is just quintessential buckshot. It's you. It's just your style. And I was just kind of wondering, how did that happen? What made that? What started that? What made you want to start blending things? What made you want to start changing the music sound a little bit? And just what was behind all that?
Well, that's, to me, it's a very easy answer. And uh I mean, it's like that whole word assimilation. I mean, the first few albums, I mean, I would write what I felt, and what was around me, what I was going through. I mean, if you pay attention to my first couple albums, I was I used to be part, it was a long time ago, but I used to be part of a pretty hardcore gang. And I kind of like did like, some gang banging back in the days. And I was in that element, that whole street element. And, naturally with music, you're writing what's going on around you and things you're seeing. And, naturally, I've always had a love, for the wicked shit. I've always, I've been listening to, back like when I first heard like Esham, way back in the day, and just kind of got like put on Detroit, like the Detroit underground hip hop scene. And, but, even, like ICP, I became a fan of them. Like it was right after they dropped Carnival Carnage. It was more like the Ringmaster era,
Now that's when I got into them too.
And, I mean, when I first heard them, I wasn't like blown away, but like, I mean, like I didn't feel like I was like a full blown juggalo then, but like I just loved what I heard, and I wanted to hear more.
Right.
And by the time I got to like got through Riddlebox and then Malenko, and but my still to this day, even though I come from like the Ringmaster era with them, my favorite record they ever did was Amazing Jekyll Brothers. There's just everybody's got their own Joker card that resonates with them, and Amazing Jekyll Brothers was always, that was mine. That was my favorite one. But just being a fan of the wicked shit and listening to all the music, and then naturally getting picked up to perform at the first gathering. After I did the gathering, George Valakis from M&E, he was booking M&E, or he was booking Psychopathic
at the time. Right.
Yeah. And he booked me for the first gathering, and which I knew I always had a lot of Juggalo fans, like at shows, like even like before I did the gathering, there'd always 3 or 4 Juggalos, like at my shows, whenever I did like local shows or whatnot.
Right.
But then after the gathering, I would always see, I had a lot more Juggalo presence, fan presence. And naturally, bringing more Juggalos into my fan base, I do this music. It is a reflection of me, but I do it for you all. So naturally, having more of Juggalo presence in the fans, I'm trying to accommodate to you all and give you all stuff that you all want to hear, and stuff you all can relate to. And so naturally, that just made me put out more stuff. I mean, like I said, not even just listening to like Esham and ICP, but just horror movies in general. I mean, I'm just a fan of horror shit, period. And as time went along from them, I obviously I hooked up with Boondocks, and we did the Underground Avengers stuff, and just everything snowballed to where it is today. And the stuff's gotten a little more darker, and a little a lot of it's gotten a little more wicked, but it's just adapting to the fans what they want to hear. And I mean, I'm a huge fan of dark music and dark movies and the horror element, so that the helter skelter stuff. But I mean, still, if you go back to my first album, Welcome to the Ville, there were songs on that that were like clear wicked shit in inspiration. I mean, just off the top of my head, I mean, I remember like that song End of the Rope on my first album. I mean, that was
like I said, there was definitely those elements were always there in your music, at least as far as I know. I've always felt they were there.
My artwork guy just hit me up. I wish I could show you all this picture.
Oh man, you gonna tease us like that?
It's artwork. It's the artwork for the Cabal project.
Nice. And you know what? We're gonna be getting into the Cabal project here in a minute, or in a few minutes. I always say a minute, and it turns out it's like 30 minutes later. But hey, and what you were saying about how everybody has a Joker card that's kind of theirs. Like you, I didn't become a hip hop or rap person because of ICP. I was a hip hop person way before ICP. Just real quick, I'm not going to get into my whole story, but just a real quick little thing. I got into hip hop, started with the big giants of hip hop at the time, which were MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, and Run DMC, because I was living in Germany at the time, and that's the only rap we got. was the
Right.
people that made it global. You know what I mean? And then when I moved back here, I, got into like some of the stuff and issues you had, and I got into some of those, crowds and some of those people, and started
Right.
doing some of those things, and I got really into NWA. That's when I discovered NWA and
Right.
West Coast hip hop and all that. And it wasn't until about 94 when I discovered ICP through my brother, who had an album, my stepbrother.
Right.
He had the album. So, but that's why the Ringmaster was always kind of my card. But my favorite card, as you said, was mine. For me, was Malenko. That was
Right.
the one that brought me so into the Juggalo world, really, like really into it, and that's why it's so special to me. But as far as everybody having a card, you kind of have some of that going on yourself. You have these different entities in your albums. You've got the Hellion, and you've got the Weirdo, and you've got a Helter Skelter, and these different chapters. What is yours? What out of your stuff? What do you relate to the most out of all of them?
Oh, that's a really easy answer. Definitely the Helter Skelter.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, definitely the Helter Skelter era, which I mean the Weirdo era fits inside of that window.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've always been a super hardcore fan of the Wicked shit.
Right.
And like Helter Skelter has like a place deep inside that is very special. And as much as I would love to continue to do Helter Skelter related stuff, I'm not saying you won't ever see Helter Skelter merch, but I have no plans on bringing like more music
Another album.
called Helter Skelter or anything. I mean, I just think that's something special. It was always planned to be a trilogy, and I just don't want to. I just want to keep that special. And
Yeah.
that's one thing cool about Cabal, because I love doing like dark wicked shit. So it's like Cabal, I could still do that dark wicked shit, but it's not Helter Skelter. So
Right.
it kind of still fills that void for me, if that makes sense.
I definitely do understand that. And for me, it was always, not always, but for me, I think the one that I relate to the most is Weirdo.
Right.
And that's because there's so many songs on it that are, I think I told you this one was before, but obviously the album was very personal to you. There's a lot more of you, the person, as opposed to you, the rapper, in it as well. Even though there's a lot of wicked shit in it, which I love, but I just love that album because I related to it so much, especially songs like "No Belong," things like that, and
Right.
even "Danger." I related to that song because it's kind of like me my whole life. A lot of people when they first meet me or see me, they see one thing and they don't expect something else. So,
Right.
and it has my favorite little white verse of all time on that album. Like his verse
Oh,
on that is my favorite he's ever done on any project.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
the track Belly Ritz. Right.
Yeah. So, um, you do a lot of horror stuff in your music, and as I said, as you know, this is kind of this is a movie channel, which I didn't mean for it to get centered in horror, but it's kind of gone that way.
Right.
And I love horror movies. You love horror movies, and you bring a lot of the horror influences into your music. Of course, you got songs like Jason Mask. You wear a Jason Mask at times on stage. You got the machetes. You
Right.
do the theatrics. What is it about horror that drew you? What is it about the horror, and especially to like say the Jason, because you use Jason a lot. What is about horror and Jason that really got you into it? Just like, I mean, were you a kid? Were you a little kid? Was it adult?
Yeah, actually, I don't even know if I have ever told this story before. So this is probably some very unique storytelling. But as a child,
Exclusive shit, y'all. Exclusive shit.
yeah, as a child, my uh like my parents would not let me watch horror movies at all. So like that was a very taboo thing in the home. Like I just wasn't like, I was not allowed. Like my parents were actually like really Christian. Like when I was younger, like, like my parents like forced me to go to church like 3 times a week. And I had a that's a conversation for another day. But I had a very
Right.
and unique childhood. But horror movies were a no-no. And I remember when my dad very first got a VCR. I mean, I was I was a kid, and I remember my dad got a VCR, which was a VHS player, played VHS tapes,
Mm-hmm.
and this is before DVD and the internet,
No,
and
way before. Yeah.
I remember the first two movies that he got for it was the original Clash of the Titans and Friday the 13th, the first
Really?
Friday the 13th movie.
Did
And
he know it was a horror?
I think he did, but it was one of those things that he hid it, and he didn't think that I knew the movie existed, and I knew it existed, and I knew where the hiding place was.
Nice.
So when my dad would go to work, I would actually get it out and watch it. And just, the first time I saw it, I've never seen anything like that. And, it kind of like tripped me out as a kid because, I'm only watching like cartoons, I've never seen a rated R movie before. So, seeing Friday the 13th and seeing like people get like butchered like that, it was, it just, I mean, like the worst movie I was probably allowed to watch as a kid was like Jaws, like sharks. I've seen people die by sharks in movies, but like never like butchered to death. So, like I said, it was kind of like that whole taboo thing. Like, you're not allowed to watch rated R movies. And then my sister, Joanna, she had her own house, and like I would come like visit, I would sometimes come spend 1 or 2 days with her. And back then there was like movie rent, like Blockbuster Video, but this was even before Blockbuster Video. There was just like there were just like different video stores where you could rent movies, and she didn't give a shit what I watched. So we would go rent 2 or 3 movies, and I would just go straight to the horror section every time because I know I can't watch this shit at home. So it's like it's giving me my horror fix. And
this is why we get along so well.
and, and there wasn't the internet, so there wasn't a way that I had knowledge of movies. So what I would do I would look at the covers and then look at the back covers because they would have the actual, the artwork on the shelf. It would, it would be the box of the movie that shows the front and back. And whatever I thought like looked the scariest or the most fucked up, like I'll be like, that's what I want. I just remember seeing Phantasm that way and seeing the hatchet murders and Children of the Corn and just Hellraiser and like all those fucking old horror movies that just like I've always been enamored with horror. And it's as weird as it sounds, my parents tried to keep me from it, but in that process they pushed me to it because by them saying no, you can't have that, naturally that's what makes you want it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like pushed me to the horror genre. And just I've always been enamored with horror in general. I've read a ton of Stephen King novels. I've read a lot of Dean Koontz stuff, and I've been a horror fan since day one.
Yeah. The first actual novel I ever read, like full novel, was It.
Me too.
And I read that when I was 6.
Yeah, no, that was the first Stephen King book that I ever read. It was It, and then Pet Cemetery, and then Salem's Lot. And like I mean, like I said, man, I'm just I'm a way bigger horror fan than people probably know I am. So
I mean, in talking to you in times, I've always known you're into horror, and it's all, like I said, it's very obvious in your music and stuff. So anybody out there in the chat, if you haven't heard Buckshot's music, you definitely need to check it out because most of you guys are horror fans. Just about everybody in the chat's a horror fan, and I know that they will appreciate it, whether they like rap or not. I think they'll appreciate it.
Right.
What is your? I just got to ask, and this isn't a question I have written down, but what's your favorite like obscure horror film? Not like the mainstream stuff, but like the stuff that's kind of out of the way.
I mean, still to this day, and to me, I would deem this obscure, but Prince of Darkness,
John
Prince of
Carpenter.
when I was a kid, that movie like mentally fucked me up.
Yeah, it's definitely not as one of his mainstream films, that's for sure.
No, but just as a kid, like that movie disturbed me. You
Right.
know, it's just it was just a very disturbing movie to me. But I've also like my whole childhood, I was obsessed with Children of the Corn.
That is a classic. I love that movie.
Children of the Corn. Just I still remember the first time I seen that first scene when like all the kids they were in that diner and like they locked the doors and killed all the adults. I was just like, as a kid watching that, like back then you didn't see shit like that. It was just that was
right. Crazy shit, huh?
Yeah.
So, a lot of the people that follow my channel, and I do a lot of collection videos, I'm a collector, and I know
Right.
you're a collector. You collect a lot of different stuff. You collect Transformers, you collect G.I. Joe, you collect 80s cartoon stuff, you collect horror stuff, you collect music, a lot of music. Your CD collection, because I love physical media, your CD collection is still, I'm hugely envious of. Out of all the things you collect, everything you got, excluding your merch, excluding your stuff, what's your prize piece? What's your all out best piece?
I mean, I've got a couple that like stick out. I've got a Ghetto Boys sealed long box, Grip It on That Other Level sealed, which I mean, it's probably a $500 to $1,000, CD.
Right.
I've got an Ice-T Body Count, the band version that has Cop Killer on it, sealed in the long box.
Oh,
which I actually tweeted a picture of that one time to Ice-T, and he responded to it, and he said something like, "Man, I know that thing's not cheap, or I know that thing's worth some money or something." But that's that's pretty rare. I have a day one sealed Riddle box that
nice.
day one store copy that has the sticker outside on the cellophane. You don't really see those.
No.
I'm not talking about the promotion advanced copy. I mean the actual the day one shelf copy. So I've got
right.
I've got some I've got a this isn't super old, but still very super rare. I have a red Alazul Ilu sealed head of horns.
Nice.
Which is, very, very hard to find open, but impossible to find sealed. I've had some crazy offers. I've had people literally offer me $1,000 for it.
Wow.
So I've got 6,000 CDs in my collection. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff. I've got an Eminem Slim Shady EP, the original, one of the first 1,000, and that thing pitches some money.
Yeah, I remember the EP coming out. I never was able to get a copy of it, but I do remember it.
Right.
Did you ever get your hands on a Hollywood edition Great Malenko before it got pulled?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get one till years later, but hey.
Yeah, I actually bought that CD the day it came out. That was before I knew any of the Disney hype. Like I was just a legit fan of ICP, and I just, I was waiting on that album. So the day it got released, I actually bought a copy of it.
Nice.
And then I like found out that night it was like on the news and shit, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like I bought that CD. So
I know that you're also, just like I am, you're really into video games. You're an avid gamer. What's your favorite video game, brother? I know people on my channel, they love video games. So,
well, my favorite, my go-to favorite, if I could just pick one, is Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. but
Nice. That's a good game.
like right now, what I literally just got through. I'm a huge Fallout person, and I just got through replaying Fallout 3 and 4. I actually played 4. Well, when they came out, I played 3 and 4 organically, but just recently,
Mhm.
I was just thinking about how much fun I had playing with them, and I actually played them over. I'm talking like
Yeah.
150 hours on each one. But
I've done the same. In fact, I'm doing Oblivion again right now.
oh yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
very fan of Bethesda games. Period.
Me too. The Elder Scrolls, all of it.
Yeah, like I can't wait for Elder Scrolls 6. I'm a huge Resident Evil head. That's what I'm playing right now is Resident Evil 8. But like all of Bethesda's games. Well, I won't say all of them, but majority of Bethesda's games. I'm a huge Bethesda fan. I love all the. I've beaten every single Legend of Zelda game that's ever came out. Huge Resident Evil fan. I'm a big Halo fan. I actually just within the last 5 months, I actually replayed every Halo game front to back in order.
Oh, nice.
Up till 5.
Sweet.
And so I don't like play a ton of games, but the games that I'm into, I actually spend a lot of time playing them.
That's kind of your downtime thing, something you do while you're not working.
Yeah. When like right now I'm in super crazy music mode, so it's been really hard trying to play Resident Evil 8. And I've probably only played it for an hour total. And I've wanted to devote more time to it, but when I'm not working on music hands on, I try to spend time with my kids.
Right.
And they're doing their own thing or they got something going on. If I have some free time, I'll try to get like an hour in here or there on, Resident Evil right now. But like this Cabal project has taken so much precedence, but not just that, the projects that are coming after that I'm working on too. So
right. And you know what? Let's just lead off with that then. Cabal. All right. Can you, without giving away the secrets, without giving away anything you don't want to talk about yet, can you kind of tell us how that came about? What can we expect from it? And because I mean, the one song I've heard so far, Death Merchants, it's sick. The merch is sick. The symbols are sick. The artists on the project are sick. You got, Low Key and you got Mr. Gray, and I'm a huge Mr. Gray person. I've liked him since before he was with Gorilla Voltage and all that. But way back with the Damn Dirty Apes. So
yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people probably, unless they get my CDs and open them up and like delve into it, a lot of people don't even realize that Mr. Gray was on Helter Skelter, the first one.
mm-hmm.
He actually did like some backup vocals on a chorus on one of the tracks. But Mr. Gray has been a homie of mine for many years. And I knew after him and Clockwork, they went their separate ways with Gorilla Voltage. And Mark and I have always been we've always been homies, and we've kept in touch since we've hooked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hit him up with this idea, like I got this cool idea, because he loves doing dark shit too. And like, even with Gorilla Voltage, they had their own dynamic, but like with even Gorilla Voltage, he couldn't take it as dark as he would have liked to have taken it.
Right.
And I feel the same way. Like, I wanted to do some real dark shit. I couldn't do Helter Skelter because I can't touch that anymore. That's sacred.
Right.
Like to me, that's like, I don't know. I know this is a very touchy subject, but like, a lot of people feel like ICP should have never did more Joker cards. And me personally, I'm a fan of the new Joker cards.
So am I. So
but
yeah.
but I do also understand that there are a lot of people that enjoy them but don't think maybe they should have fooled with more Joker cards. And but that's that's opinionated. But my thing is,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to resurrect Helter Skelter again, because people that find that sacred, I don't want them to look at that like some people like looked at ICP when they read, they came out with new Joker cards. I
Right.
thought Helter Skelter was sacred and I shouldn't revisit that. But the Cabal stuff, it's like I still get that fix from it because it's super dark. There's some elements about it that's actually darker. It's
Like kick you in the face, take no prisoners kind of shit.
It's just really, really dark. I mean, it's real culty, and just the music is just it's grim.
Right. Well, back in the day, you remember, I mean, I know you remember when ICP Twisted and Blaze did Dark Lotus. That first album was way darker than the stuff they had done on their separate stuff previous.
For sure.
I mean, it's just sometimes we all have that side of us that you got to get out there and put it out there, or else it eats you up inside. So
right.
And personally, that's the shit I love. So I can't wait to hear that.
Right.
I can't wait to hear that.
Obviously, like I'm a huge fan of Low Key, and I honestly I didn't know what Low Key was going to say when I approached him with it. He's real selective who he works with, and that was one of the things that kind of drew me to him. It's kind of like that whole you're attracted to what you can't have, and I just kind of assumed Low Key probably wouldn't do it. He's super busy doing his own shit, and but when I told him the idea, he was like, "Hell yeah, I'm with it." And we made it happen.
And I know Low Key is actually the one artist that I don't know a lot about with the group. I never really had any of his albums. I don't know much about him, so I'm definitely looking forward to hearing him. Seeing what he's got to offer.
It's fire, man. Like he is. I'm a fan of Low Key. Like I was a fan before I knew him. Low Key's fire, and a lot of people seem to think he's the king of horrorcore. A lot of people have called him that. I don't those debates, but I mean, like Low Key has stayed true to the genre and what he does, and he's molded what he does with it. I mean, he's great at what he does, man.
I gotta ask you this because you just mentioned it, and it's off my topics again, but that's kind of how these interviews go sometimes. What do you think of that word horrorcore? Because personally, I hate that word. It seems so like they're trying to put a box on it and just, like, oh, this isn't real rap. This is just horror bull crap, And I hate that word.
I mean, that whole topic is that's like a real touchy topic too. Like I've never called my stuff horrorcore. Yeah. I don't have a problem with
call you horrorcore.
I don't have a problem with the word, but like I don't consider my stuff horrorcore. I consider my music to be very dark and have very dark elements to it. But like I guess I don't use that because there's some stuff that people put out and they call their stuff horrorcore, and it's like not even believable to me. I mean, I understand a lot of people like doing like shock value, and I'm not saying that's not a cool thing to do, but just I know a lot of stuff that I've heard that people say is horrorcore. It just didn't. There's a lot of people who do stuff that is horrorcore that I think are very dope at it, but just a lot that I've heard that's called horrorcore, it just didn't really do a lot for me. And like, I'm a huge horror fan. So like, but like it's different with everybody because there's some people who do horrorcore stuff that school it. And then there's people that it just sounds like they're trying too hard. So,
right. So, as well as I do, because we never had an issue between us. We had almost a misunderstanding. I thought you were mad at me, and I apologized to you for that. And you were like, don't worry about it. I tell you you're mad at me, I'm gonna tell you I'm mad at you,
Yeah.
And so, but I apologize because with people that I consider friends, I don't ever want to offend my friends. Now, as far as anybody else in the world goes, I don't give a shit if I offend them or not.
Right.
And on this channel, it's very open, very blunt. So if you have an opinion on a subject, don't feel, please just go ahead and say what you want to say, because
Oh, you should know
whether
me.
it's touchy or not, I know you, I know,
Yeah.
like for me, like we were just talking, horrorcore for me, when I hear that word, it brings up a bunch of fucking painted up, juggalo wannabe fucking ICP guys that can't fucking rap and putting crap music out there. That's what I think of when I think of horrorcore. That's just my opinion. Like I said, nobody has to share it, but that's what comes into my mind when I hear that. Call it wicked shit, call it fucking underground. That's what I call it underground, because that's what it is. It's not the mainstream fucking Cardi B bullshit you're out there,
Right.
or this fucking mumble rap bullshit that we have now. And I know that there's some. I'm not going to get into all this. This is some of it's your personal business, some of it's business. I know that there has been some issues. The M&E camp, the psychopathic camp, all that stuff. And even you've been brought into a little bit of that. But I'll still tell you, my dream collaboration for you is always going to be you and ICP on a track, not just a track. Like, because you did Run with Jay, that was awesome. Right. The whole album would be sick, and I would love for you, ICP Twisted, if they ever just buried the hatchet, all of y'all on something, that would be mind blowing. I mean, the whole fucking underground of the best rappers in the underground on one album would be mind blowing to me.
Yeah, that's a cool aspiration, to have. I don't know if that could ever happen.
Who knows anymore,
Yeah. You're right. Who knows? My personal, from what I know and who I know, I don't ever see that happening. But hey, we've seen reunions before in the past, other bands and other genres that nobody saw. So, you can't never say never.
Mm-hmm. But no matter how big of a juggalo you are, or if you don't even, there are people out there, I'm not a juggalo anymore, but whatever, no matter how big of a fan you are, you're still a fan unless you're there with them and something. You just see what the fans see,
right?
So you don't know, even if they do an interview and they do a tell-all, you never know. It could take a funeral to bring them back together. It could never happen. You never know. It honestly doesn't matter at this point, but where I'm going with this is the groups that you have done. Okay, you've done Double Dragon now with Kung Fu Vampire, which is my favorite fucking album of the year, by the way.
Hell yeah.
I played that album so much. I played that album and it's got 3 scratches on it already, and I've got to buy another one.
That's funny.
I played it so much that I played it nonstop in my truck every single day for 2 months, I think, when it came out. I put it definitely over, 150 times or so. And then till one day I just got in the mood where I wanted to hear some of the Tossers. I don't know, I'm into Celtic punk and stuff too. So I wanted to hear some Tossers, so I put that in. That was the first time it had been taken out of my CD player in like 2 months.
That's funny.
And then of course you have my personal favorite supergroup, UGA, the Underground Avengers, you, Buckshot, and Class. All 3 of you guys are really good guys, first off. I'm never going to forget that dinner and the stories that were told, and then, and just, I loved it. I loved when you guys first did the first UGA. I didn't know about it at first,
Right.
Because that was right around the time I was like 2012-ish. I was kind of just discovering you at the time.
Right.
And, of course, I knew Boondocks, of course. Since he came out on Psychopathic, that's when I heard of Boondocks. And then I had never even heard of Class until he signed with LSP and did stuff with you guys. So it brought in all these brand new, great, artists for me to listen to. Right. But also, it just made me realize how cool your guys' stuff was, because something I've noticed about not just your albums, but also the UGA albums, is that you always seem to have that one song that either is a sample or a cover or your own version on something.
Right.
And it's usually like a old school rock song, which is so cool because I love old school rock.
Right.
And I just have to ask because Cabal, I can't wait to hear it. I know it's going to be fire. It's going to be dope, and I'm going to probably play that for the next couple months. But I got to know: is there more UGA in the future? Are we going to get more UGA? And is it mob style or is it MNE? I mean, and I don't really care. I don't care what it is.
No,
Long
no.
we get it.
I mean, no. UGA is not M&E. I mean, like, a lot of people thought we were signed to M&E. We weren't signed to them as a label, but we did have a signed agreement with them to distribute
Distribution
and put out the UGA album, which they own that album. I don't, we
but
don't.
You still can sell it on your shop too. I've noticed.
I've got an arrangement with them.
Yeah, that's good. That's definitely good.
But as far as more UGA, that's to be determined. When the universe needs UGA again, like, it'll happen. But like right now, there's not plans for UGA.
I hope it happens because
the first album, 6 years went by before we came out with the second album. And then that was like October, like literally 6 months after that, Dark Matter came out.
Right.
So that was that was a transition. People weren't expecting that either. But like, so, when UGA happens, it's a random, if it's happened, it happens. So like, there's nothing saying it won't happen, but there's just nothing right now saying it will.
Right.
But
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When the universe needs UGA, we'll be there.
And actually, it was Dark Matter that made me wonder because like you said, the second album, the first album you guys did on your own. You had people on 3 different labels doing an album together. It was awesome. We all love it. I still need to try and get another copy of the original pressing.
Right.
The second album comes out after that show in Texas, which, and this is just my own question, was that kind of the spawning for that? Was that show in Texas?
Yeah. Actually, the situation that there was such a huge turnout.
It was huge.
They said that they just did Twisted a couple months before that. I think Twisted was at that same venue, and we only had like 130 less people than Twisted did. So when that show went down, it made phones start ringing, and it made people want to make moves.
And it's cool too that honestly, in my opinion, it's cool that the next album came out on M&E because it did introduce a few more people, maybe not a ton more, but a few more people to people that may have listened to Boondocks or Twisted, and now they're listening to Buckshot and Class as well.
True. No. I'm not against that move at all. Right. I definitely think a lot of fans a lot of fans were made from that move happening. So,
and I will say this: I don't know if this is true or not. I believe you can correct me on this or not. I'm pretty sure it was Class that may have told me this, or it's just I'm confused and I misheard it. But when you guys did the original Underground Avengers album, you tried to get Psychopathic to put that out.
Well, originally Psychopathic were not going to put out the first one, but after the first one, Psychopathic was going to put out Underground Avengers after the first one.
Wow.
And then, the original plan was when Boondocks' Abaddon album came out, it was going to have a ad mat inside of that album saying Underground Avengers coming out on Psychopathic.
Nice.
And then I remember the day Joe hit me up, or Joe and I were talking, and he just basically said, "Hey, Buck, I apologize, but like just right now, like the Underground Avengers psychopathic thing, like it's just like it's not
Yeah.
in the cards." And I was,
Right.
cool, like no big deal.
It happens,
All right, but
I will say this though, as big of a juggalo as I am, that was, to me, that was their detriment. They lost out on that because you've shown how much you can kill it when you guys are together and when you're solo. So, that was their loss big time on that.
well, I don't know if you remember this, but it was one of the years of Hollow Wicked. We went down to Detroit and we recorded a song in the Lotus Pod. And that song was supposed to be a hidden track at the end of Abaddon on Boondocks' album. And then when Joe said, "Hey, we're not doing the psychopathic thing with Underground Avengers," we ended up using that song on the Wormwood Tour CD. It was that song "Remember Me." So that song that was on the Wormwood Tour, "Remember Me," was that was the song we did in the Lotus Pod that was supposed to be the first psychopathic UGA track.
I didn't know about it when it happened, but I remember you telling us about it.
Right.
Yeah, when you guys brought Dark Matter out and it wasn't on M&E and it went back to being on Mobstyle, I was like, okay, like you said, I never cared whether you were signed to them, not signed to them, whatever. It never mattered to me. I was just like, I love that. And you said it in your song, even. You said, if I remember the exact lyric, "Twisted hiked me the ball and I'm not going to fumble."
Right.
Like, I love that even though you had this deal to do it on M&E, it was still your project and they let you head that project. And to me, that was awesome.
They never like told me artistically what you can or you can't do. Now, if I remember correctly, I think the song you're referring to, though, that wasn't on Dark Matter.
No, that's on that's on
Bring the Blood.
Yeah, that's Bring the Blood. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But no,
yeah, I use that on my videos. I use that song on my videos.
The day the day I turned in the album, like it went to press. Like it wasn't like they had to monitor it and see what we said or didn't say. It was I turned the album and said, "Here's the album," and it went straight to press.
Nice. Wrong One is like my personal theme song.
Oh, dope.
That's my jam, dude. I put that on I rotate songs on the end of my videos. And I've even caught some YouTubers like, "I don't want to hear your stupid music." Well, don't watch my fucking video then, motherfucker.
Right.
But like Goodfellas, Wrong One, Bring the Blood, and I was putting Don't Stop, which is my all-time favorite Buckshot track. I was putting that, but it kept getting copyright claimed.
Wow.
So sometimes I still don't care and I'll still put it on because it's not a strike, it's just a claim, but
right. That's funny.
But it's like I've always been curious too. How did you get hooked up with Crucifix?
Crucifix is actually one of my like real life best friends. Like he's like when we're not doing music anymore, like we're still gonna be friends. He's like my homie. But we met, I don't even remember what year it was. It was before Weirdo came out. Oh no, actually it was before Helter Skelter because he's all over Helter Skelter.
Mm-hmm.
But just him and I actually met through Bubba Sparks.
Oh, nice.
Him and I just hit it off good. We talk every day.
And my first exposure to him was Boondocks' album on Abaddon.
Right.
When he did the song, and that's my favorite track on that album.
Oh, that's cool.
He brings a style that's just amazing. He can go from, and it kills me because I still don't know every lyric on that. I started out, I sing along to it every time, And then he starts getting, a little faster. He starts rapping and it goes from singing to the rap. And he does it so transitionally,
Yeah.
like transitionless.
Cruise is
And then
dope.
and I'm like, wait a minute, what did he just say? I just tripped it up there. What did he say?
Right.
So, okay, something I have to ask you. I've been talking about this about you. I guarantee you probably come up in like 50% of my conversations that we have on streams.
Right.
And it's for whatever reason, whether it's because I'm wearing a piece of merch, somebody asks about it, or we're just talking about music because we talk music. Because not only am I into music a lot, and music's very important to me, two of my Super Slash brothers are actually musicians, and their music's very important to them. So we're always talking music, but they want to know because I want to know this too. Antonio Pantoja, he is a director of numerous of your videos,
Mm-hmm.
and he directed a horror movie, One Must Fall,
Mm-hmm.
which you happen to be in.
Yeah.
So I can pretty much figure out how that came about. I mean, obviously he's done your videos, it kind of goes hand in hand. What was that like for you? What's the movie about? Where can we find the movie? I've been asking. I only know one person, and I think it's Jump, that has a copy, and I can't find it anywhere. And I want this movie. I have to see this movie.
Yeah.
And all my friends want to see it. We were talking about it last night. We want to see this movie.
It's called One Must Fall, and it's a horror movie that Antonio, he wrote it and directed it. And actually I'm I play a homicide detective in it.
Nice.
Demi, him and I together, we both play detectives.
Oh, Demi's in it too? That's awesome.
And I don't know, like after we done it, there was like a small release of Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did like 300 Blu-rays or something, and then it got picked up by like this big indie. Oh shit! Hold on one second. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
This will
Should
be.
happen. I was going to apologize earlier. My little daughter ran in here and was trying to tattle on her sister.
No, that's okay. But it was picked up by some indie company or whatnot, and so like I said, I don't know what platform, like how you watch it, or nothing like that. But no, it was a very, the scenes that we did. You know who Lloyd Kaufman is, don't you?
Yeah, he's the head of Trauma Film. I'm
Yeah.
actually in a movie. I'm in a Trauma movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
The
cool.
scene that we filmed, my scenes are with Lloyd Kaufman in that movie.
Yeah, I knew he was in it because I saw it on the IMDb, which is awesome.
Yeah,
that dude's like quintessential
it was
to horror.
really good time. We were on set for a long time. It was a long day. It was very, very cold in the warehouse that we filmed it in, but it turned out being really cool.
Nice, very awesome, man. Well, I only had one question left, and I just don't feel like asking it right now. So we've been having too much fun on this interview, or at least I have been. I don't know about you, but I have been.
Yeah, no.
So, I can't get enough of this. I can't get enough of picking your brain on music or on movies or anything because it's something that I always wanted to be a rapper. I always wanted to be a film director. I don't have the talents for either of those, but to be so into those kind of things and be able to talk to somebody who does do it, who is good at it, who has made a living at it, and who's known for it is always very cool to me. It's, I love to hear everything that happens on every behind the scenes thing. That's why I love physical media so much.
Right.
Because you get the behind the scenes on the DVDs or the Blu-rays or, you yourself are a physical media person.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think it's going to last much longer? I mean,
I think so. I think, that's why I still press CDs. They still sell, there's a lot of it is slowly dying off, but I mean, like, look at cassettes. People
Mhm.
still buy cassettes.
And
You know,
vinyl's coming back too.
yeah. I mean, so, you know, as long as there's collectors, I don't think that stuff will ever truly, you know, go away.
I'm still waiting for my first mob style vinyl, like big vinyl.
Right. I will I will say though, vinyl and cassette and CD pressings are like, you used to be able to get CDs way cheaper. Like me, like to get CDs manufactured, they used to be way cheaper than they are now. I think it's because there's less people doing it. So, you
Yeah,
know, that's why you see a lot of indie record labels, you know, you see the prices going up a little bit. You know, it used to be you could put out an album and sell it for $10, but now excuse me, but now it's went up. I need something to drink.
go ahead, man.
Of course, there's no bottled water in here, but just a swig of vodka.
Yeah. I think that actually has the opposite effect.
Much better. But anyway, uh but yes, CD, you know, it just costs so much to get done now. Like, it's just, you know, you see a lot of people selling CDs, you know, they're higher priced.
Well, I've noticed that you've kept your prices pretty, you know, what I consider damn good. I mean, you know, you, as I said, I said this before when I was, you know, throwing a little shout out promo to your merch. I'm not bullshitting you, man. Your merch is the best in the underground. I'm not even kidding. Like, I've owned a million fucking ICP t-shirts and jerseys and everything else, and they're great. They're most of them, all, you know, but I've never had, like, I get your stuff and it's the exact same quality, if not better than their stuff, and it's a third of the cost. I mean, you'll do a jersey and you'll do one like this jersey. I think it was what, $80,
Probably, yeah.
whereas theirs would have been 150. You know, I mean,
Well, I just try to keep things at a price to where, you know, obviously we need to make profit on it to, you know, keep the company running and to be able to keep doing what we do. But we also try to keep it at a price to where the fans can, you know, can afford it.
right. And, you know, I think, and you've always been very willing, you know, with me and with probably a lot of fans. You work with them and you know, you do what you can. You're probably the most interactive person I've seen with their fans on Twitter, social media, things like that.
I
You know,
try
I
my,
don't see a lot of the others do it.
I mean, like I said, you know, I mean, I do know, like, you know, the other guys, I mean, they're busy. I mean, they're really
Yeah.
busy. And
Everybody, you know,
but so I try to go out of my way to do the best that I can to interact with everybody. Sometimes I won't see it for a month, but I always come back and try to respond one way or another.
right. Well, hey, at least you run your own Twitter and you didn't hire somebody else to do it.
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah.
I do my own. I run my own personal Twitter.
So, guys, does anybody out there have any questions for Buckshot? You know, I could sit here and talk all night long, but let's see what you guys want to say. I know that there was a question earlier, and I'm just going to fire it off. If you choose to answer it, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Siznak, I believe it was Siznak, wanted to know what happened with the Baxwar deal. What happened there?
Uh that was one of those things that, you know, Mad Child and I, like, I don't know all the inside elements between Mad Child and Baxwar, but basically Mad Child and I were doing some, you know, gonna do some ventures together, Mobstyle and Baxwar together. But then I don't know what happened, like, with Mad Child and Baxwar, you know, like on the business end of it. Like, I just think I think they were maybe going a different direction or something, you know, like I don't know enough about their situation to actually speak on it, you know, but I just don't think the situation was right.
Mhm.
You know, there were a few CDs that I actually put out that actually had Baxwar logos next to the Mobstyle logo because, like I
Right.
said, we were going to do some joint, you know, some joint platform together, but it just ended up not working out. I mean, me and Mad Child are still super, super cool.
Matt Child's dope. In fact, you actually turned me on to him through Run.
Oh, awesome.
I had seen him. I was aware of him, but I didn't know like his music or anything until I heard him on Run. You know, when he's on the chorus and then he has a verse, and I was like, okay, I have to check this dude out a little bit. I still find it funny, and I got to ask you too. And I know you love your dog, right? I know you love your dog. Put him on your Twitter all the time. All right, man, you're a big old tough rapper, ex gang banging motherfucker. How is it you have a tiny little dog instead of a pit bull or something?
I mean, you know, that's
I always wonder that. I always wonder
it,
that with Mad Child. He's got that little dog all the time with him.
yeah. Take him to the grocery with me, drive-throughs. He takes trips with me.
Yeah. So we got Horrific Nightmares Jam. That's one of my Super Slash bros. Also one of my best friends. He wants to know what's your favorite horror movie.
Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness. Nice. And then let's see. We got Craig all the way down in Australia. He wants to know what track, and I'm going to say this: what album should a first timer start with of yours?
I think Helter Skelter, any of the Helter Skelter albums, Weirdo, any one of those albums, I think is a great jumping point.
Nice. We got another gentleman in the chat right now. It goes by Us Only or UXSX Only.
Right.
He is also a really damn good rapper. I've got his CD. He's out of Arizona, but I believe he's from Texas originally.
Okay.
And he's a really good guy. His name's Rick. And just throwing this out there, I think you two would make really good music together.
Okay.
He's damn good. You're good. You know. Let's see. Sugar Scoliosis. Is the stuff on the wall for sale on eBay yet? I'm assuming he means your wall because mine is not even done. It's like,
oh, no. It's all this is all just some of my personal stuff. So yeah.
So let's see. You always have your killer bull terriers. Did anybody else out there have any? Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah, here you go. Oh, man. Can you just read? I'm going to ask the question, or you can read it too if you got the chat up. Have you slapped any internet gangsters lately? And would you, if you don't mind, would you kind of tell that story? I love this story. If you don't mind. You don't have to.
Which guy? I mean, I've slapped a lot of people.
B.
Oh.
At the gathering.
Nah.
No? Okay. He doesn't want to talk. That's fine.
And he's, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a hilarious story, by the way. But that's just me. But, also.
So the backstory to it is hilarious. But, like.
The backstory is not cool. The backstory is not cool.
Yeah, just that.
Yeah. I do love, though, that it kind of coined the phrase buck slap.
Right.
And that's been that. I've seen that trending, I've seen buck slap trend before.
I mean, I've seen a ton of people. Like, I've just heard that word so much that, I've ended up becoming a song.
Rick wants to know what your favorite food is.
Barbecue.
Barbecue. You can tell he's from the South.
Yeah.
Jason, I don't know if you heard him earlier or not. He asked, when will we be able to get One Must Fall? He said there was a limited release, and then it got picked up by a company, wasn't sure who, an indie company. And I've got a few connections, and Jason has a few connections with the indie companies. We'll find it.
Yeah. If you find me a link, I'd like to put it out there because I know there's a lot of people who haven't seen it or probably didn't even know I was in the movie. So
somebody set up above that you can find it on Prime Video, probably for streaming.
Oh, dope. I mean, it's like a really, really bloody movie. I mean, it's
Yeah. It sounds like it's right up my alley. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, it's straight horror.
Yeah. Let's see. Seismic's Flatmore. Anybody else got any questions out there, or can we let this man go up and get himself a drink? Man, you're gonna be like me last night. I was drinking to kill the pain though, bro.
Right. I get that.
Horror Man says, "Let the man drink." What non-rap music do you like?
I mean, I listen to lately I haven't really listened to anything because I've been doing so much writing. You know, there's a lot of projects coming out on Mobstyle this year. There's a lot of projects coming out next year. So I'm constantly listening to my own mixes and writing. But I mean, you know, I listen, I like a lot of 90s rap music. I listen to a lot of 90s and like 80s pop and rock. You know, there's some metal I like. You know, I really like all kinds of music, depending on what kind of mood I'm in. You know, a lot of times I'll dim all the lights and just like listen to like horror soundtracks. And a lot of times I'll do that. I'll listen to horror soundtracks and drink before I start writing, light candles and turn all my lights out. I got some really weird writing rituals.
Put you in the mood, right? I mean,
yeah.
Papa would like to know, Papa Bunny, he would like to know your dream collaboration.
I mean, it'd have to be Eminem.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm not a huge Eminem person, but
yeah. I mean, I'm a long time Eminem fan. I just think Eminem's awesome. I like a lot of his older stuff over his newer stuff, but you know, I'm just a fan of him as an artist in general. Like even in, you know, he's dropped albums, newer albums I wasn't impressed with at all, but I'm just impressed with him as an artist. You know, he does his own thing. I feel like he doesn't beat to anybody else's drum. That's one thing that really made me. That's one thing that made me get into low key. Low key does. He doesn't move to anybody else's drum. He does his own thing. I've always respected that about Eminem. Even if I didn't like the music, I still respected the moves.
I can't deny, as far as like technical skill or anything, the guy is probably one of the best, if not the best, you know, technical skilled rappers out there. But and I actually really liked Eminem. I liked him up through the Marshall Mathers LP.
Right.
And it wasn't because I was a juggalo that I stopped liking him like so many people.
Right.
I actually met the guy. I got to meet him at a concert in Texas, and it was the Up in Smoke tour.
Oh, you met Eminem?
I got to meet him, and well, kind of meet him. I went up to we were backstage, and we got to go backstage, and I got to meet Ice Cube, got to meet Snoop. You know, it was really cool. And I went up to meet Eminem, and he kind of acted like he was the best fucking thing on the planet, and he kind of turned his nose up at us, and I kind of had an issue with that. Like, it's like, dude, you're the brand new guy on the block, and you're the big, because that was back, way back when I was still like right out of high school, I think, when that tour was going on. So,
but I still say if not Eminem, a very close. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a tie, but I mean, Ice Cube would be probably a right there. You know, Ice Cube is still my all-time favorite rapper. So
I think that's one that could happen. I think I bet you if you reached out to him, I bet you could get that one.
I've actually went for MC Ren before, and
that's nice.
We actually corresponded a little bit, and just he never said no. It just kind of went into space type thing. It was just kind of like he just quit responding type thing. And but you know, you never know. Yeah, I mean, I think the Ice Cube thing, you know, I think it would be way more likely to happen than an Eminem feature.
Well, hey, like it's like me when I reach out for these interviews. I mean, Biggest thing they can do is say no or ignore you, you know?
Right.
I reached out to Tech Nine. He actually said yes. And
Right.
he gave me the contact info to get in touch with his people or whatever. And I got in touch with the people and they've never responded to me.
Right.
You know, I mean, it is what it is. Dead Body Chick 3 Hope wants to know, what style of beats do you like rap to the most?
I like the wicked shit. Yeah.
I noticed that Seven does a lot of your beats. When
Yeah.
you guys were doing the when you were doing the UGA or anything, or when you've done stuff with people that are on MNE, have you got to work with Fritz at all or any of the guys over there?
On Anomaly 88, Godsynth did a couple one or two tracks on Anomaly 88, and then Godsynth did a track on Double Dragon. You know, besides Seven, I've worked with Bad Mind semi recently. You know, Seven produced the whole entire Cabal project. He did some tracks in the Helter Skelter. He did quite a few of the Seven did quite a few of the Double Dragon tracks.
Nice. I know that Papa's saying that he would like to see Buck and Jelly Roll do a project. I know you guys have done stuff together before. I mean, you're all over each other's stuff, and Jelly's awesome, great rapper, you know.
Jelly's just gotten so big, man. Like Jelly's. I talked to Jelly last week, but just his scheduling, you know, he's just
he has grown the last few years, just huge.
Yeah, he's on a whole different level. I mean, you know, like I said, I just talked to him last week, and Jelly's got a lot of love for me. I mean, me and Jelly go back like 15, 16 years, but just, you know, his schedule's just crazy. And, you know,
no, nobody wants to hear that.
we've probably another song in the works. I don't know when it's going to release, but, you know, but doing a project with him, that would be a reach.
Yeah.
You know, he's just so big.
Sugar Scoliosis says Buck and King Crimson. Ain't nobody wanting to hear that shit. I wouldn't mind seeing Buck slap King Crimson, but I don't want to hear that. Okay, let's see. Question to Buck. When is he going to do an Apollyon hoodie or a mob style jacket or face mask? There was a face mask. Roger had one. I don't know if that was an official or if that was
a mob style face mask, as in what? You mean like the protective ones?
No, I think they mean like a mask, like, you know, Axe has the masks, or you can buy the Shaggy Tudo mask or whatever, the monoxide mask. But Roger had one. I've seen him take pictures with it. He had a Smokin' Joe like thing. I don't know if he made that or.
I think it was like something. It wasn't an official. You know, we've never done that official. I mean, we've talked about it, and it's not out of the picture. It's just something that we've just not, you know, something we've not done.
Right. Hell, I'd buy it. You know.
Right.
I'll get it. Anything that's got Mobstyle on it, I'll get it. So. And if I can't afford it, then I'll make sure that I hit you up and be like, "Hey, hold me one of them."
Right.
Let's see. I like the remake songs so much. Any plans for others, and what groups they might be?
What groups they might? What do you mean?
I think she means like, what songs would you consider doing remakes to, or remixes to, or like what groups would you like to do some of their music?
There's actually a track. I can't say what it is right now, but there's a track coming that there's none of that on the Cabal. The Cabal is just straight original. Like the Cabal is just dark. It's a very dark project, and I don't think that would have really worked doing a remake. Not really, but no, there's another project that's coming this year on Mobstyle that's got something that's, I think it's gonna fill that want of an old rock remake. This
may be TMI, but when you redid Bon Jovi, I just about creamed myself.
That was a dope remake.
Yeah, I'm a huge Bon Jovi fan, so
right.
You know,
Me too.
Um,
Big Bon Jovi.
that was my dad's favorite group of them and him and Kiss and
Right.
him, Kiss and ABBA, which is so weird. But yeah, I wanted to ask too. Crap, I just lost what I was my train of thought of what I wanted to ask. Oh well, maybe it'll come to me later. Let's see.
I saw somebody just say somebody loves posse tracks.
I may missed that one. Let me see.
Actually,
oh yeah, I love his posse tracks. Yeah.
Have you seen the track listing for the Cabal project?
I did see that, and I don't know if anybody else seen that. It's listed out there on Twitter. You can go find it.
Yeah, the last track is it's not as long as some of the other ones we've done, but it's got Twisted, Alazul Elu, and Super Famous Funtime guys on it, and it turned out to be a super dope track.
That's the one group I don't know. Who is that? I don't know them.
Super Famous Funtime guys.
Mm-hmm.
They just signed to Alazul's label, Long Live Evil. It's Mr. Eight Legs and Whipstick. Eight Legs is the guy who does a lot of my art.
Okay.
He does a lot of like the drawn covers that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Hellion logo, Eight Legs designed that logo. Anytime you see like drawn covers that look like cartoon artwork, Eight Legs does almost all of that.
Nice. I didn't. I was wondering if they were still going to be trying to do people on their own stuff as well, since they signed with M&E.
Legs actually designed. He did the Cabal logo.
Super sick, bro. It is awesome too. I love. At first I avoided those all over shirts.
He did the Weirdo logo.
Nice.
Yeah. Eight Legs is he's a super talented dude, man.
My brother's in the chat. My brother, my actual brother, and he's like, okay, no disrespect. Who is this? My brother does not listen to hip hop really, except for Ice Cube, and that's pretty much it. This is Buckshot, Trump.
So
Buckshot.
He sees us and he sees the names, but he doesn't know who it
was. He's probably driving. He's a truck driver, and he's probably driving.
Cool. Hey, it's all good.
But
I'm nobody.
Did you watch the new Mortal Kombat and your thoughts?
Not yet.
We might be here for a while just listening to people's things.
Yeah, not yet.
I watched it. I enjoyed it.
I want to see. It's been too busy. You know, I just haven't had time.
You put out on Twitter a while before we started that you were going to watch Army of the Dead. What did you think of that?
It was dope. It was very entertaining. I mean, nothing like surprised me. There wasn't like, there wasn't like big shocking twist to it or anything, but I mean, just, it was a very entertaining movie. I'm a big fan of Dave Bautista. I think it was casted well. I loved the casting, and I liked it. It was good. I mean, it wasn't like the best movie I've ever seen, but it was like a fun watch. It was visuals, the visuals were cool. There was, I like zombie movies, period. I'm a fan of all zombie movies. So it was a fun, entertaining watch.
I almost missed this question. Papa wants to know your dream acting role.
As in dream acting.
You want to do anything in acting? Like, what would you love to do?
Oh, I mean, I like acting in general. I mean, obviously, anything like horror or action related.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have one more question. It's a question I ask everybody, and I'll wait till we're done for everybody to get their question. Then I'll ask because it's usually my send-off thing. So I do have a question about that for you.
Okay.
Let's see. How did you get Q Strange on God Particles, and how did that come upon or open? I'm not sure.
Q Strange is just, he's a homie, and, we've been wanting to work together for a while, and I reached out to him to, said, hey, I got this posse track and I think it would be dope if you did it. And he did it.
Let's see. Okay, back on the lead on your favorite acting thing you would want to do. If you were a star in a movie, who would be your dream leading lady?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of amazing Hollywood actresses out there. I guess it would just depend, like on the genre or whatnot. I don't know. That's something answer. Something that doesn't like just stick. I don't have an answer for that one right now. I guess, because it would depend on the movie, the role, the genre. It's not.
Siznak would like to know your best gathering story, or I'll say your favorite. Like I didn't know you were at the first gathering. That's news to me.
No, I wasn't at the first gathering. Who said that?
You mean your first gathering? When you said that you got booked for the first, I thought you meant
for my first gathering.
For your first, it was your first gathering. Okay, my mistake. I mixed that up.
2012, I think, was my first gathering. No. I've been to seven or eight, I think. But favorite, I'd say my favorite gathering experience was probably playing main stage. Mm-hmm. I played main stage in the Ohio. It was like 4 years ago, I think. But I was, I played main stage 1 year.
Yeah. Something I wanted to ask you about related to that is you did the Juggalo March, which I still think is amazing. I think that was such a cool thing to do for everybody that was involved, everybody that could do it. You got to fucking do a show, or you're part of the show on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. How did that fucking feel?
It was awesome. It was an epic experience. I had a lot of fun. It was really cool talking to a whole bunch of juggalos out there, and I believed I believed in the plight of it, and it was a cool experience.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that'd be so cool, man. You were like literally doing a show right where Martin Luther King stood, and right. That's awesome,
Because it was a good time.
Does anybody else have any more questions, guys? I'm ready to wrap this up, I think. Let me see. Okay. No problem. Thanks, bud. All right. So, well, guys, I'm going to wrap things up. So I'm going to ask my final question to Buckshot, and that's one I like to send out on.
All right.
Buck, if you were in a horror film, any horror film of any of the main genre, any of the big genres, anything you want to do, if you were to play a victim, how would you like to die?
Probably get a hole punched through my chest.
Like literally punched, like?
Yeah, just like Jason punching a hole right through your chest.
That would had your heart in his hand on the other side or some shit?
It would just be awesome. Something just brutal.
That's sick. Oh, that's freaking awesome.
Getting your head chopped off is too quick. It's too easy. But, getting a hole punched through you, you got a few extra seconds of agony.
Right. Yeah, you're sitting there, you get to look down, and you're like, that's dope, bro. That's definitely dope. So, all right, guys. Well, I guess there was one more question. Dead Body Chick wants to know if there any more tours coming soon now that they've started to lift things.
The only shows, no tours yet. The only shows, I've got a show in New Haven, Indiana on July 10th. I've got Dallas, Texas again, September 24th, I think. That's the only shows off the top of my head. I know there's been some people that have sent out dates and contracts, but we're waiting to get back with them because there's a potential tour lined up that we're getting dates and we're getting information on that. I'm not really trying to do that many one-offs right now until I get the information back on this big tour.
Yeah, you don't want to lock yourself into something and then not be able to do something bigger.
Correct.
Right, definitely, that's definitely cool. Well, guys, thank you all for joining us. Buck, thank you so much for granting this interview. Definitely appreciate it. You know, this has been, I think, my favorite one so far. And I say that every week or every time I do one, but this is definitely my favorite one so far.
Awesome. I'm glad to be part of it. Thanks for having me on.
Yep. All right, everybody. Go check out
everybody out there who was watching. Thanks for joining us.
Yep. Go and check out Mobstyle Music. Check out the Mob Shop. Check out BroncoJuggalo Talks Movies, my channel, which you're on now. Check out my merch store over at Teespring. And check out the Horror Mob Patreon. This is BroncoJuggalo saying peace.
One other thing. Are we still live?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna do your people a solid. What time is it right now? It's 8:38.
6:38 my time, 8:38 your time.
Okay. For everybody who's watching this, I'm going to give everybody 2 hours. I'm going to write down the time right now. But anybody who pre-orders the Cabal project from the website, I'm actually going to put something special extra because I know you all are watching this live for 2 hours. If you pre-order the album, you're going to get something cool and extra with your pre-order. So I'll mark all the invoices that come in. So if you're watching this and you order it, you can go to mobstylemusic.com. The cheapest package we have is $29.99, and it comes with the album and a 12-inch flat, all autographed by the whole group. It's a double-sided flat. It's really, really dope. But so yeah, anybody who pre-orders the album in the next 2 hours, you're going to get something really cool, free and extra in your order. So that's just for because your people are on here watching.
Man.
So I'm going to do something extra special for you all.
Hey, you guys heard him. Go get it now, man. 2 hours. Get that extra merch.
2 hours. So it's what? Yep. It's 8. Let's say it's 8:39 Eastern time. I'll give it till 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock Eastern time. All invoices that come in between now and 10 o'clock, I'm going to do something extra special.
Awesome, bro. Hey, that's awesome, guys. Go and get it. The CD is going to be dope. And I will tell you now, as I said before earlier, Buck's merch is the best. You definitely want his shit. All right, y'all. Peace out, everybody.
All right. Peace.